Didn't hear the fuel pump kick in. Hold on. Nah, fuel pump's not kicking on. I did this before to Mark. Crazy story about it. He was working on it. The fuel pump quit working entirely. Just completely quit. It wasn't turning on like how it was there. Didn't hear it kick on. And what happened was it got stuck in the garage, so he just left it in there overnight. And overnight, some guy comes to his yard, steals all the batteries out of all the cars that were in the yard, and cuts some of the wires. And mine was in the garage, so it wasn't touched. It was the only one that wasn't touched. Next day, fired right up. Fuel pump kicked on, fired right up.
Damn.
That's kind of funny. Oh, and I'm just hoping I don't have to push this back to where it was. It's the fuel pump.
That would suck.
Yeah, it would. Well, let's see what we get. Nah, still not. I don't hear it. Not hearing it. That is weird. Oh, well, I guess maybe I'm not supposed to take it for a little ride yet.
Spin today.
Yeah, it doesn't want to go.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Another time.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to try to push it back to where I have it parked at, and I might have to get it towed to Mark's. I don't know. This thing's odd. It's a lot like me. Where'd you go? Couldn't see for a second here. Engine's cold, so, you know. There's a little bit of corrosion in there. I'm getting it checked, though, because I want to make sure there's not oil getting in, but you can see it's a little bit discolored. Should be a healthy green, it will be. But it's not a chocolate shake or anything, so we're good. But the old coolant system that was in there, it has an all new radiator, new water pump, new thermostat. But the old coolant system that was in there, the radiator was pretty corroded, so that's why I got a new radiator for it. And it had the factory water pump, and I know on these old Chevys, the factory water pumps, they're pieces of crap. They give out a lot. Delfrat, every single GM he's had, water pump goes. Every single one he's had. His 95 S10, his 89 S10, his Cavalier, which he traded for a 79 Dodge. Really good trade. Because that 79 Dodge is worth about $6 grand. That Cavalier was worth about $600. So he got a really good trade there. But, yeah, make sure I have this. It's sometimes a little tricky to... I think I got it. Hold on. I need to find something to eat. I'm getting all shaky. I think that should be on there. Yeah, that's on there nice and good. I don't know. Fuel pump has a mind of its own sometimes. Might have to replace it. But yeah, I mean the oil's... take out the dipstick. Oil's good. So that tells me that, you know, head gasket's good. See, nice and clean. I might need to add a little bit though. I might need like a quart. I recently had to add a quart to the Vitara just a little bit ago. It was a little low. So I added a quart to that. But this one might need a quart as well. But yeah, I mean it's solid though. The frame has minimal rust. The floor is clean, spotless. I'm gonna undercoat it. I am gonna take and buff the frame out, get the rust off of it, use some steel wool, and it's got a little bit. It's not bad at all. When I looked at this, I went underneath it with a little piece of grip tape and I sanded part of the frame to see how deep the rust went. Hit metal real quick, so it's solid. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get some red Rust-Oleum paint and I'm just gonna spray it. Does need, right now, the current things about it is that it does have a misfire, so it runs on like 5.5 cylinders, but it still has go to it. I mean, I don't push it at all. The highest I've got it revved up to is about maybe 2,000 revs, maybe. I've been real easy on it. I'm gonna be babying this thing. It's gonna be really nice after a while. I'm gonna get it all cleaned up. But what it needs Fuel pump is questionable. Seems to have a mind of its own. This is the first time it didn't work for me. And let's see here. What else does it need? The pinion sill and differential has a little bit of a leak, but gear oil is like a 90 grade, so it's real thick, so it's a really slow. It'll leak for years and it won't have a problem. But I'm still gonna get it taken care of. And then I think part of the lever going into the transfer case, it's stuck in 4-wheel drive. I think it's just a little rusty. It might need lubed up a little bit, and it might be able to go right into 2. But yeah, with that misfire and with it being stuck in 4-wheel drive, I'm not really getting the best of gas mileage right now with it. I'll probably get like 10 miles to the gallon currently. But after it's all taken care of, I'll probably be getting like 21. It also depends on how you drive it. The way I drive, I'm be babying this thing, so yeah, I'll probably be getting like 21 miles to the gallon. And there are a bunch of little things it needs. It needs a little rear window, which is really hard to find. That little window, they're kind of, I called a few different places today for it. No one has it. So if it comes down to no one having it at all, what I might have to do is get like some, I don't know, like some thick plastic that's like clear or some plexiglass, cut it to fit and Bondo it in, and then paint the Bondo black to match the weather strips. Needs new weather strips too, and it needs door pins and a bunch of little cosmetic things. I got the new bumper for it, but the side mounts, the bolts are really rusty and the threads are bad, so I'm gonna have to cut them off, and then I'm gonna have to get new ones from like Ace Hardware to get that new bumper on. But I don't know what I'm gonna cut it with yet. It's kind of a tight space. And then gotta replace this fender. It's pretty screwed up. But the new fender that I get, I like the red and white color scheme it's got going on. So what I'm gonna do is the new fender that I get, tape, paint with some Rust-Oleum paint, keep it from rusting. And yeah, put a new one on when the time comes. Till then, it's gonna be all the stuff under the hood. I mean, I know a little bit, but I'm not real good with stuff yet. I'm gonna be cleaning it up. I'm gonna be doing like body work and stuff on it. So far, what I've done so far is I've replaced the instrument cluster because, well, if you might have seen it, it's all digital. And the original instrument cluster that was on it didn't work at all. Nothing showed up on it. So I got a new one. I put that in there myself, and it works. Everything lights up. Some of the gauges aren't really too accurate. I think it does need a sensor for the temp gauge because it always seems to be running cold when it's not. It's at where it should be, about 180 degrees when it's fully operating. But it's it'll be good. So probably just need a new sensor. Maybe inside of there might be a little bit of crud inside of it. It might need cleaned out a little bit where the port is for the sensor. But yeah, the engine is a central port 4.3, central port injection. That famous Vortec. Things will run for a long time, especially if you maintain it well. But I've seen with these engines, people that have maintained it like the way that I will be maintaining it, and the way that I maintain the engine on the Suzuki, they've gotten like 600,000 out of these. I've seen people get up there with them. I don't know. I mean, the guy that had this before me, he beat it quite a bit. So, I mean, see how far it goes for me. I'm just going to maintain it well, one day at a time. And if it, it comes down to it, I'll put a new 4.3 crate motor in it if I have to. But so far it seems to be all right, just that misfire. It's probably just a plug-in wire. But yeah, I mean, I've driven it a few times just to get new tires and whatnot, just to get parts for it installed, because I don't have the tools to install parts and stuff. But stuff under the hood and, drivetrain work, that I get done professionally. But all the other little stuff I do myself. But someday I'll be, under the hood working on stuff. But I just don't want to screw anything up on it. So I know that maybe I could do something if I had someone who's experienced with me, yeah. But you know, it's hard to get people together to really work on stuff at times. So, you know, I just have a professional take care of some things, but other things I do myself. Yeah. Coolant system probably just needs flushed a little bit more. And, I don't know, might check again, see if the fuel pump's gonna kick on. Nope, nothing. Fuel pump has a mind of its own. Didn't hear it kick on, it's not gonna start. Yeah, gonna probably have to push it back to where it was at. I was looking forward to driving it a little bit. And, oh well, we'll get that taken care of. It probably does need a new fuel pump if it has a mind of its own like that. But, you know, I need it to be able to fire up every time, you know, I need it to always be kicking on. Especially if I'm going to take this on skate trips out of town when it's good to go. But yeah, plenty of room though back there. Got a lot of leg room. My friends that are 6 foot plus, no problem. And then got plenty of room for all of our boards and stuff in the back. So it's good to go. Plus it's my favorite vehicle ever made, so I already got my dream ride.